Welcome everybody to the very first episode of the channel. I do thank you very much for checking it out. Today, we're going to be taking a closer look at this Seiko 5 automatic timepiece. This is a reference SNXS77. We'll be doing a review of this watch and going over some of the highlighted details of this timepiece in general. And for the first wristwatch check of the channel, today I am wearing the Mr. Jones Chaos Window. This is one of the newer timepieces released from the company. We'll be checking out this timepiece in the future at some point, but for today, we're going to be taking a much closer look at this Seiko 5 timepiece. So, without any further ado, let's jump right into it.
So, now let's take a bit of a closer look at the Seiko 5 automatic here. So one of the first things that I like to talk about of the watch, besides some of the aesthetics of it, is actually the movement on this particular timepiece. So Seiko is going to be putting in the 7S25C, which is their 3 Hz or about 21,600 beats per hour movement inside of the watch. The power reserve on this timepiece is about 43 hours, so sadly it doesn't necessarily have a 2 days of power reserve, but if you do wear it for the day and put it down for the evening, when you wake up, the watch should be running still at that point. One downside to it though is that the watch does not have hacking, nor does it have manual wind capability for the timepiece, so if it does ever run down, then what needs to be done is the watch needs to be picked up and shaken a bit. That'll get the rotor running, and that'll get the seconds hand moving once again. So the watch does feature a quick set for the day and date on here. This does come with the English and French date wheel off the 3 o'clock position, so you do have that opportunity for the watch to be on one language or the other, which is pretty nice. The water resistance for this watch isn't that great. We'll be looking at about 30 meters of water resistance for this timepiece, so sadly no diving, and sadly no going out and swimming with this watch either. It's more of a casual, if not more dressy attire to wear and pair with this particular timepiece. But to get the case dimensions looked at, from lug to lug here, we'll be looking at about 41 millimeters for the timepiece, so thankfully it's not a very large watch at all. From 3 to 6 o'clock here, we'll be looking at about 36 millimeters. We got a lug width of about 19, and then a case thickness of about 11, so it's not a very large watch, but for a dressy timepiece, it does wear a bit larger than some other offerings by either Seiko or some other companies. But the watch does in fact come with a hardlex crystal for the front and for the back, so thankfully you don't have a mineral crystal. It's their proprietary material that's used for the covering of the watch. But to get out of the way, just look at the blue dial in there. Beautiful sunburst blue, as you can be able to see. Looks extremely nice in any conditions. And speaking about any conditions, the indices and the hands are actually covered in Lumibrights, so you can be able to see this watch pretty easily at nighttime. It's not a very difficult watch to see in the dark, so that's one aspect of the timepiece which really does look stunning. But just look at the way that dial looks. Oh. And you can be able to see they are applied, so the Seiko 5 the Seiko logo and the Seiko 5 logo plus the hour indices are all applied, so it does add a little bit of height to the dial itself when you see it from a particular angle, so it's not just sitting down flat, but it does have some depth to it. But just look at the way that is. Very nice, and again, for the price point, very difficult to beat, especially coming from a house like Seiko. Now, one thing you might have noticed with the watch is the case itself is actually of high polish, while the bracelet that's on here, which is the original bracelet, is a satin or more of a brushed finish. So you could be able to kind of get this changed out for something a little bit different. I've seen people put it on some different leather straps, perhaps even some rubber straps can be able to go for the watch as well. So if you don't like the bracelet, don't worry, you can always get it changed out. But because of that 19mm lug width, it is a little bit harder to find some options for it. But the mods you can be able to create with the Seikos and the Seiko 5s, plus the different straps and bracelets you can be able to add, is incredible. So kind of do a little bit digging around if this by itself doesn't suit your fancy. But you can be able to see here, the crown is not at the 3 o'clock position. You'll be looking at the 4 o'clock position right here for the timepiece. But to kind of look and see how it functions, has a pretty nice sweep when you go and change it. It feels pretty nice as well. Doesn't feel loose at all. Feels pretty well. So that's in the second position. To put it to the first position right here, it does have that quick set. So you'll see the date change for the day, and then for the for the date and for the day as well, right there. And because it is a push-pull crown, that lends to the 30 meters of water resistance for it. So sadly, it is not a screw-down crown, but you probably won't be using it too often if you're keeping the watch running and keep it wound. So have no worry with that. But as you can be able to see, kind of coming off this side here, again, all of high polish. So it does take scratches pretty easily, unfortunately, but that just shows that the watch has been worn and gets to go outside a little bit. And then to come to the case back right here, as you can be able to see, the watch doesn't have any real decoration to it. It looks pretty industrial for the most part, but that's okay because at its price point, this is a pretty good watch. You don't really see an automatic at this price point, nor do you really see one with an exhibition case back. So coming from a company like Seiko, it is pretty nice to see that they were able to put in a case back and make it an automatic as well, so you can kind of see some of the workings of the timepiece. So again, this is the original bracelet that comes with the watch. So it does have the stamped Seiko logo right there, but you can always kind of put it on for something a little bit nicer. It's not a spectacular bracelet, but again, once you kind of check out the price point that these watches are in, it's totally understandable. So let's kind of get a wrist shot of how this piece looks, because it again doesn't wear very large. It is a bit of a smaller timepiece, so we can be able to see how it looks on my wrist. Place the watch there. As you can see, looks pretty nice. Again, it's not a very large wearing timepiece. It is a bit on the smaller side if you want to compare it to some of the pieces that are out today, but this is a very nice timepiece all around, and a spectacular option for somebody who's looking to get into watches and hasn't quite decided on what they want to get yet, or still open to different options. I'd say take into consideration of this watch, or any Seiko 5s for that matter, because they are all great timepieces. And if you find one that works well with you, then, well, I'd say try it out, see if it works, and maybe get it from there and add it to your collection. So again, this is the Seiko 5 automatic SNX, not an SNK, SNXS, as in Sam, 77, and this is a pretty nice watch, again, all around. Let me know what you guys think of it down below. If you guys have any other of the Seiko 5s out there, because it has been going on for a while, you can be able to kind of put it down, and I'll be sure to kind of check it out from there. But thank you very much for taking the time and watching the video. There'll be more to come from that, and I hope you guys take care and see you soon.